It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Huh, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. Loud enough. Make my shit loud. Machine put
I just left a light in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit. With some rims on it and some knock in this bitch. Well. Gotta get a piece of mind. Sometimes I feel like I just wanna get. I just left.
You hear what I said?
Yes, bitch, I heard you. I'm pretending like I didn't.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Joe Beach. He looked down, seen the feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously. Can you?
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
My eye, plus I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators. I mean,
You're
TikTok.
a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think deep. I think very deeply.
Dance with me. Dance with me.
First you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well then, stick to your word. And let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man. You're a worm. You're afraid of us. You're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children. We're big men. I've seen my father have to put up with all kinds of stuff. He was a big man. He raised a family. He went down south, and he had to go around to the back door with his wife. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for any favors. All we want is what's ours. Now, there are many black veterans who are coming back, and they're mad. They're angry. Do you think that they're going to sit down through this? Our fathers didn't have the knowledge that we have. They sat through it. But there are other black youth that are not going to sit through it. We know about Che. We know about Fanon. We've read the books of our revolution. We've listened to Mao and his quotations. We know where we stand. We're not going to sit for it. We're asking, and if we ask and we don't get, we're prepared to stand up and take it. If I ask a man, I tell a man I am hungry. I tell him I am cold. And I ask him to do something about my condition. And this man holds a loaf of bread right in front of me so I can see it, and I keep asking him, I'm begging him to please give me a slice of the loaf of bread. I am hungry. Then it is known by every psychologist that the next step in the progression is I am going to knock him upside the head and take the bread from him. I'm not going to starve to death.
I mean, TikTok.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama. And you...
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
What's all that noise? Oh, that's just Daddy.
Come with baggage, just not asking the way what's on.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right here. Come with baggage.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And they...
I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd.
My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you. My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. That's the difference when you're my.
You got the.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
I guess you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the nigga.
Do that dance,
Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know. Guess it was underlying.
Some people, they feel like you almost have to sell your soul to get fame, or is it just hard work, or is it luck, is it consequence, is it?
No, most of us have sold our soul. We just called it something else.
To the east. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only galactic daddy-o welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. All right, what's shaking, everybody out there? All the party people, what is happening? And thank you for coming. So let's clear some energies out. Hope I don't blow my goddamn self up. Got this Palo Alto. I guess I'm trying to start a fire. That's a fire. That's a fire. There we go. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. All right. Try to give it to you raw and uncut. But and also trying to not give it to you contaminated. Make sure these are my own thoughts without, any outside influences fucking with me. There we go. All right. All right. Yeah, let that ponder a few minutes. Well, welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I am your super funky hero, Big Pontiac. Thank you for joining me. Also known as the Time Lord, also known as Starface, also known as the only and the last Time Walker. So welcome. Now see, we have, let's get this shit right. I see we have Hang Hand in the house. Thank you for joining me.
Got to have vision.
I see we have Dreadhead Locks in the house. Thank you for coming.
Got to have vision.
Dr. Sinister.
Got to have vision.
My man in 1,000 grand, PJ Allen.
Got to have vision.
El Dragon, Amaroon Khan, and the Calm.
Got to have vision.
I think that's everybody. Thank you for joining me. Now I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to start off right into the NFL first, and then we'll get into talking about that crooked game that we saw. We saw them throw it tonight. All the games are fixed, but the way they fixed it, well, and maybe I should get into that first. And the way they fixed it, the game only went into overtime for ratings because game one went into overtime for ratings. Now, let's find what we need to find. And I'm going to break it down for you. And I'm going to tell you, what really was wrong with what we were seeing. All right, this play right here. Let me get this to come over. Is it off?
All right. This is a way to script the game. Now,
Now,
the score is tied.
We're going to get right
okay?
into the links.
There's 5.2 seconds,
Now,
which means there's
set.
plenty of time for...
Let me see. Okay, this is the set that they're running. Now, we know she's going down. And if is that this one? Let's see. If
penetration.
That's
Plenty of time.
Run here.
And you can't say that this is the play that
let's go.
was wrote up. No one would write this up.
Set I'm thinking of.
But this is the one we got to watch. This is the one that's the biggest part of throwing the game. Is this young lady right there? All right.
Or is this the one where she throws the ball away on the
I'll let it play.
Purpose? Here we go.
This lady lost this. She's the deciding factor in losing the series. Her.
Okay.
Look at that.
Now, let me back it up right here. Let me tell you it's okay. First of all, this is a set that they ran. They run a set here.
All right.
And obviously she comes over. Number 24 comes over and picks for the out of bounds.
This lady lost this. She's the deciding factor in losing the series. Her.
Okay. Why would they run this set? Now the other part is why is there no counter back pick right here? Why wouldn't this person in the corner come up and back pick right here and then she rolls to the basket? That's a really old play. But why would they run a set for her to shoot a three with 5.2 seconds when you only need 2? You only need 2 to win. Why would you run this? They only hit 3 threes the whole game, I believe. But why would you run this set? And again, I'm going to blame her because she took a quick shot unnecessarily. Look, it's still 5.2 seconds when she catches the ball. Why did they run this set?
Look at that.
And why did
5
she
seconds
shoot
left.
so quickly?
And she doesn't
That made
even...
no sense.
there's no reason to take that
zero
shot.
Sense.
No reason at all
Nothing
to catch
over
and shoot.
here, though. Everybody
Other than
watch.
if you're point
Nothing
shaving.
over here.
Watch your point
How
shaving.
don't you run over
This
here?
is straight up trying to
Look at
lose
this. Why
on
would
purpose.
they run that? They run
Why?
her
Why?
and
There's
she just
plenty of
launches
time.
it. It's 60 to 60. You don't need a 3. So in this inception is fixed. No one would run this.
All right. This is a way to script the game.
Type of play if you was trying
right
to win.
now,
you gonna run something
the score
inside.
is tied.
Number
okay?
21 was killing
There's
them inside.
5.2
Number
seconds,
24,
which
their
means
leading
there's
scorer, been
plenty of
killing them
time for
inside.
penetration. Plenty of time.
And that's what
and you
you
can't
would
say
run.
that this is the play
But they don't do that, do they?
was wrote up. No one would write this up.
Time with her
But
shot.
this is the one we got to watch. This is the one that's the biggest part of throwing the game. Is this young lady right there?
Watch how she shoots this ball, and you tell me she's trying to make
All right.
this shot. Watch, she ain't
I'll
trying
let
to
it
make
play.
it. Look at her form.
This lady lost this. She's the deciding factor
throws
in
it up
losing the
there.
series. Her.
Look. No,
Look
she
at that.
just throws it
5
up there from
seconds
her
left.
chest.
And she doesn't
No
even.
form, no follow
there's
through,
no
nothing.
reason to
She
take
was
that
not
shot.
trying to make that shot.
No reason at all to
She
catch
wasn't
and
trying
shoot.
to make it. Why
Other
would
than
you
if
throw
you're
it
point
up there?
shaving. Watch your
And
point
why
shaving.
would you call this
This
play?
is straight up trying to
That's your
lose
leading
on
scorer.
purpose.
Why your leading scorer?
Why?
Look at that.
There's plenty of
She wasn't
time.
trying to make it. All off balance.
All
off balance. And so, but 24, she was like the. I give her the blame because she was definitely to blame.
All right, part two of number 21 point
Okay.
shaving.
This is the second
This is
step
the second
where
time we're
she
going to
throws
see
it away again.
number
And she throws
21
it away on
involved in a
purpose.
play that turns the ball over, which is
She
a
doesn't
clear
throw
point
it to
shaving.
the
Watch.
cutter.
Watch what number 21
Watch when the
does.
girl cuts. Okay, this she
She hustles,
gets
get the ball.
rebound.
Watch
Look, she
34,
gets the
21,
ball.
give it
She
away.
doesn't give it to
She
her
doesn't
when she
get.
flashes.
Wait, watch that again.
She waits
She
until
cuts
the
to the
defender
basket.
gets right in her
Let's
face.
go back a little bit. She doesn't pass
would
it
you
to her
do
when
that?
she cuts
Why
to the
wouldn't you give it
basket.
to her when she first flashed? She does not give it to her.
Okay, watch this.
Flash.
She hustles. Watch her not pass the ball on purpose when she cuts to the basket.
Right there,
See,
she's
she was
open.
open
Give it
right
to her.
there.
No,
she waits
she
till
waits for the
the
defender
defender.
to
She
come.
throws it to the
They
defender.
probably looked at each other and
We
had
catch
some
number.
kind of
We
code.
catch number 21 point shaving.
Let's run this again. Look at this.
All right,
This is
part
so
two
ridiculous.
of number 21 point
This is
shaving.
so ridiculous.
This is the second
I mean,
time we're going to see
it's all
number
acting.
21
There's nothing
involved in
real
a play
about
that
this.
turns the ball
They
over,
lost
which
on
is a
purpose,
clear
no
point
doubt.
shaving. Watch what
But
number
again,
21
they
does.
want us to believe that this is hard play and this is not scripted.
She hustles, get the ball.
And they
Watch
use number
34,
21 to throw
21,
the
give it
game.
away.
Look, you see how
She doesn't get.
purposely didn't
Wait,
throw
watch
to
that
it?
again.
There was no
She cuts
reason
to the
she
basket.
shouldn't have threw
Let's
it
go
to her
back
at the
back a
key,
little
the
bit.
top of the key,
She doesn't
or in
pass
the
it to
key.
her when she cuts to the
flashed it. She
basket.
should have got the ball. She flashed
Okay,
it.
watch
She
this.
should have got the ball.
She hustles. Watch her not pass the ball on purpose when she cuts to the basket. See, she was open right
No,
there.
no.
She waits till the
defender's
defender.
right
She
on her.
throws it to the defender. We catch number 21 point
Defender's
shaving.
right on her.
All right, part two of number.
And then this really ain't the shot I wanted. I'm gonna say that I didn't get.
All
quite.
right,
This shot is not.
this
the
is
shot
the
I
look
wanted.
you make when you know
I really
that you were
didn't want
picked
this
to
shot.
throw
I
the
couldn't
game.
find it. I yelled at my wife
Here
a
we
little bit.
go.
I'm sorry, baby, but I was like, let me rewind it. No, the game is on. We need to watch the game.
Right here.
But look at his face. Look at this. You can see in her face that she just lost it on purpose. There was a better shot than this, and I couldn't find it. This was close as I could get. But you can see in her face that she just gave it all away. I mean, this, like we did a thing, I know Lobo used to do a thing too, and we did a thing that we would look at people's face before the games, especially Super Bowls. Like I think Lobo did a really great before Kansas City when they lost their Super Bowl, was it to the Buccaneers? The one Kansas City, the Super Bowl they lost. Lobo did a good thing, and we started looking at them before the Super Bowls. And you can see in their face if the way they came out. You know, that they was going to win or you lose. You could just tell the different energy. Was they meant to win tonight or they went to lose? And right here in her face, you can see that she's trying to lose, but she feels the regret. And the pain is already in her face of losing, and that she had to make those plays to, even though she's played a decent game, but she had to make the plays that caused her to lose.
Look at her
Look at her
face.
face. I mean,
Look at her. You can
all
see in her face
shoulder, all in her
that
face.
she was picked to
She's
throw the
one that
game,
lost the game.
and you can see the stress in her face
But she
that
made
she
the
was picked to
plays
throw
that
the
lost
game.
That was
And
her
you know, you
role
can see
tonight.
it. You can
You know,
see it in
you
her
are the
face
heel or
that
whatever
she
you
was the
wanna
one
call it,
picked, and
but it's
she
all
she
right
did
there,
3
right there in
plays
her
that
face.
threw the
You
game
see
away.
it, that she
But you can
knows
see in her face
that
right
she
now
threw the
that
game.
she already
You know,
knows
she
that
feels
she's gonna
bad,
lose,
but that was what was asked
and that
about
she
her.
was the
That
main
was
reason
asked.
they
She probably
lost.
got some bonus.
You can
but
see it in her
you can
face.
see her in her face that she threw the game, and that she
All
is
right,
to
this
blame.
this is the look
For
you
the
make
big
when you know that you were
She is
picked
to blame
to
for
throw the
big
game.
mistakes that you see.
Here we go,
You know, the big mistakes that you see it right in her face.
right here.
See, right there. You see it. You see in her face the concern, the grief, all in one. She's trying to hold it together because, you know, even though it's acting, it's still, you want to celebrate. You don't want to be, but you can see it right here in her face that she was the one picked to throw it.
Look at her face.
And all the hurt.
Look at her.
and,
You can
it's
see
acting.
in her
She got a
face
bonus for throwing
that
the
she
ball
was
away,
picked
but you
to
can
throw
see
the
how red her
game,
face is
and you
from,
can see the stress in her
throwing
face
the game.
that
Throwing the game.
she was picked to throw the
Right there
game,
in her face. I had a
and
better
you know you
shot
can
that
see
really
it. You
showed
can
the
see it in her
grief, but
face
this-
that
going
she was the one
rewind it, this is
picked,
the
and
best I can
she
find.
did 3 plays that
But
threw the
this is,
game
you know,
away.
she threw
But
it
you
on
can see
purpose. They lost this game entirely on purpose. They had this game. They had it. They had it. 5 seconds left. And they put in a guard. Now this is what made no sense. The one little guard, it was the ugly little girl, not the blonde, the short hair girl that got the extra rebound, but the other guard. They put her in. She ain't even been playing. I done watched every game. That chick ain't been playing, and you put her in at a crucial time, and she made the turnover on the sideline where she dribbled it off her shoe. And then before the half, do y'all remember before the half, all the turnovers before the half, they kind of put them back and gave momentum? And you want to believe that was real? So, yeah, there's nothing real about that. It was totally fake. Totally fake. They totally lost on purpose. And you know, that's what it really is. It's not real. It is not real. It is a made up, it's a made up scripted sport. So now I'm gonna pivot over to football. Today I went 8-5. I went 8-5 today. And the ones I lost the Saints game. You know, I lost that on Thursday. I won the Jags this morning. I got up about halftime and saw the game, and I was like, whoa, the Jags are playing good for a change. I got the Bills. The Vikings, that was the good game. The Vikings game was a good game. And again, if we look at how they scripted, so you telling me of all the plays you run for a 2-point conversion, again, you look at what they run. And I'm sorry I didn't make a little tape of that. I was at my friend's, so I really, I couldn't rewind and all that shit. But you looked at what they ran for the 2-point conversion. They wasn't trying to get it. They wasn't trying to get it. And then the poor defense, the poor defense in the second quarter. They played good defense in the first quarter. All of a sudden, they can't stop them. They making Golf look like the best quarterback in the league. So none of that is real. But I did lose that one. I lost the Falcons. I lost the Falcons and Seahawks because the Seahawks played like shit last week. I won the Bengals and Browns, and Deshaun Watson, did he really get hurt? It's kind of hard to tell. You can walk. Like when I tore my Achilles, I was literally just walking. I mean, so it's not hard to tear your Achilles, but I was literally I ran down court and stopped. And when I stopped, I heard a boom, and that was my Achilles. It really sounded like a gun went off. It was so loud. So I hope, he gets better. So I got the Bengals. I got the Eagles. That's why I got the Jerome Brown on. And jerseys is nothing like this anymore. Jerseys is form-fitting and tight. Like even when you buy jerseys, they're tighter now. Like my Cook jersey, I bought it, I think it's a 3X, so it's a little bigger. But if you buy like your true size jerseys are tight, even the ones you buy. But anyway, Eagles won, Colts won. I lost the Texans and Packers. And I kind of had a feeling about that game. I did. I don't know why I didn't pick the Packers. I've been riding with the Packers all season, but I like the way the Texans was playing. But the Packers at home, they've been pretty solid. I won the Rams. I won the Commanders. I won the Chiefs. And I lost the Jets. I lost with the Jets. So that put me 8-5. We got 2 games tomorrow. And so for the year, I am 67-55. No, that ain't right. 67-35. Yeah, 67-35 for the year. So that's what I'm doing for the year. So I haven't copied week 8 yet. That's just notes. And I'll be back on Wednesday to do week 8. Yeah. Oh, let's see. What's everybody saying? Yeah, I saw her make that face, and I saw her make that face and said the same thing. Yeah, hand, yeah, exactly. She made that face, and you knew, because it was another face. And she was like, I was like, man, you could see it right there, you could see it, and I couldn't rewind, and I couldn't go, and my wife's like, don't rewind it. I'm like, I gotta get this right now, she want to fight and stuff. Nicole B, what's happening?
Got to have vision.
Oh, so yeah. She tossed that right up. The whole fourth quarter was wild. Yeah. It was like, I mean, like one girl just like I was good for making videos that show you when they get their shot blocks that they shoot it right into people's hands. And we had that little guard that made the turnover late in the game, did the same thing. It was like you ain't shake anybody, and then you shoot it right into the girl's hand. So you know what it is. Yeah, definitely all acting. Definitely. Yeah, Lobo did one with the Rams and Bengals that told it. Yeah, exactly. You see it. You see, you see in their faces, like especially big games like playoffs and the Super Bowl. I think is the most telling. The Super Bowl I think is the most telling. You can see in their face if they're gonna win or lose. And as the season gets into the playoffs and stuff, you can see they give it away. You can see how loose they are, or because it's just some of them be like, yeah, we getting a big check, but I'm kind of bummed that I'm just kind of bummed we losing. So Yeah, jerseys are tighter. They are. Yeah. They're about to make Watson blow out the league. New stadium was approved. Oh, really? They approved the new Brown Stadium. Wow. Wow. Barkley really shining now. Eagles fly. Yeah, Barkley looked good today. He did. Derek, what's happening?
You got to have vision.
All Biz, what's happening?
You got to have vision.
Yeah, Sabrina shoots 1 out of 19. Exactly. She shoots 1 out of 19. The blonde hair short girl, she didn't make, I don't even think she made a basket at all. And like number 24, okay, when number 24 got her shot blocked off the head fake, she was in front of the girl to shoot a layup, a runner layup. And she waits. Remember that play? She turned the corner on the girl baseline, and all she had to do is shoot a runner. No. She jump stops and waits for the defenders to recover. Who does that? When you get by them and you're about to go to the basket, you take it to the basket. No, she does a jump stop. And she waits for the defense to recover. I'm like, this is some bullshit here. So this is some real bullshit. The three that they made in the beginning of overtime was manipulated. The shot from the other side was a 2 to get 60 to 65. If you notice, both those shots was manipulated, but especially the 3 from what would be my right side, or if I'm looking at the court, this side of the court, that shot was definitely manipulated. You could just see the way it went in. And the other part about Sabrina is when they turn the basket off. When they turn the basket off, you see how they shoot. I mean, I was watching the Golden State one game, and I was like, they had turned the basket off. And I mean, it was something like, let me not exaggerate. It was something, what did I count? I counted 10 to 12 shots in a row that they missed. With the basket off, and they was just letting them go. And I think sometimes they just want to see. Nobody tried to dunk. Every shot was a long shot or a deep mid-range. Not just mid-range, deep. They missed 10 in a row going back and forth. And you can see, like, some of them seasons where they turned it off for Steph, he wasn't hitting them half-court shots. And then people try to point out where before the game he's making shots and shooting deep shots. Before the game, they're trying to see if they're honing in the technology. That's why they shoot them half-court shots. The person that controls if the shots goes in, they're honing that in. That's why they encourage players in the beginning of the game to launch them shots up. They're trying to hone in to be able to control the drop and everything. And that's why you see them throw those up in the air like that. So, and like baseball, hockey is funny because hockey, you get a penalty if you purposely, or you're the one that pushed the nets out, put the puck out in the stands. Now, Zach Hubbard did a great hockey where it showed it was just nobody back there but the goalie, and the puck hit the backboard behind the goalie. The goalie is to his right, comes around the goalie in front. So usually it hits it and it'll go left or right. No. This hits the board, comes back at the goalie, and zoom past him to go in. So there are pucks they can control, just like golf balls. You can buy a golf ball that if you get it lost, it'll automatically come back to you. If you hit it in the rough, it's a remote control golf ball. And they've had, this ain't nothing new. The remote control golf balls probably been around for 10 plus years. So you lose your golf ball in the rough, you can buy golf balls where you remote control it and it'll bring your ball back to you. So we know they can do, you watched golf and you can see it bounce, and just stop. But hockey, my point was hockey is also, I don't know. I mean, they can control the puck and sometimes you can kind of see the puck move. That is why they really, the pucks really don't go in the stands. And that's why now I must admit, I've been to hockey games where pucks go in the stands and the people keep the puck. I have been witnessed that. But I think there's a certain period or certain time they insert these pucks that they can control. Because I've watched dudes make shots where they don't even swing. It's like the dude is falling down and all the dude is able to do is fall down near the puck and the puck shoots itself in. I mean, I've watched games like that too. So, do you think enough money being bet on women's basketball? Now, how much ratings are they really getting? They set a record. The first overtime game set a record. Was their most all-time watch game of all time. The very first, the one that the Lynx won there, the first game in New York, was the all-time high in viewership. Now, leading up to it, CC, her Kathleen, whatever her name is, her games was setting records, attendance records. That's where she helped, and then they snubbed her in the Olympics. That's how they dogged her, because they, again, it was the Olympic people are jealous of her too. It was a whole thing of people, Caitlin Clark. It was a whole group of WNBA people that was jealous of her. You telling me, what is her name? Taurasi, 40 years old. She ain't LeBron, and she makes the Olympic team, but not this chick that brought life into your sport. Now remember, they still losing money. They've never broke even. They've never made a profit in WNBA. The NBA loses money, but they write it off. But the NBA loses money every year in the WNBA. And as I mentioned earlier, the only reason it went into overtime tonight was for ratings. That was it. Because think about it, like I was watching 3 screens at once. I got a 65-inch, maybe 70, and I'm watching 3 screens at once because they had, where you could watch the 3. So I'm watching the basketball, I'm watching baseball, football, and I'm watching the women's basketball. I was listening to the women's basketball. And so they only went to overtime for ratings. That's it. That's why they saw how much ratings they got on the first game overtime. That's why they did this game overtime. So Blue Marvel, what's happening?
You got to have vision.
Good to see you. Good to see you. They had slight viewer increase this year. Yeah, they did. Yeah, Yankees versus Dodgers. Let's go. I've been it's funny. I've been a Yankee fan since Mickey Mantle. So that was around the end of his career. So I think baseball, pro football, my first real hero was probably Gale Sayers. I was a little boy faking people out, faking my cousins out with the football I got at 1 or 2 years old. I'm faking. It was old. It was a bigger plastic football. Not like it looked like a real football. It had real leather laces, but it was plastic, but hard, big plastic, the old-fashioned plastic. So, but anyway, Gale Sayers was my first hero because I knew about him and watching his games. But then when I got into baseball, it was Mickey Mantle. And so I've been a Yankees fan since Mickey Mantle. Of course, my homeboy that I met when he was a junior, maybe, was Derek Jeter. We went to the same high school. I watched him play. I mean, he was a good hooper, good 3-point shooter. People forget this dude is what, 6'3", 6'4"? He's a nice sized dude. But so, definitely a Yankees fan when he played. And, it was interesting watching games where they lost and they should, like Arizona's World Series that the Yankees lost. What's his name? Riviera that didn't give up hits all season, and he giving up hits to this trash Arizona team. Y'all remember that when they lost to Arizona and Arizona won their only championship? That was so scripted. Riviera never gave up hits. And all of a sudden, he giving hits up to these busters. The NBA is in a big deficit right now. It's ironic that men in the NBA support the WNBA, make more money than women do. Well, they should. They don't generate enough money. But I don't know if y'all remember this. Do you guys remember the league? And I mention this from time to time. Do you remember the league before the WNBA? It had 9-foot hoops and all the women wore booty shorts. Do y'all remember that league? And I can't remember what year or what it was called, but they played on 9-foot hoops and everybody wore booty shorts. And this was probably, what year was that? I want to say I was living in Michigan, so it was 87, 88 maybe? I was living in Michigan, and I just thought it was so funny, the booty shorts. I mean, they wore like volleyball booty shorts. Volleyball booty shorts. You know how volleyball players are. It's super form-fitting, but that's what the league was. They wore booty shorts, and they played on 9-foot rims. And that league only lasted that season, I think. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up to find it. So yeah, it is definitely it's entertainment. That's all. It's just entertainment. Like, dude, you say it's just comedy. It's just entertainment. That's all it is. It's entertainment. And so, you can't have any emotion in it. You can't have any of that. But yeah, I get into the baseball. I like watching. I like being entertained. I'll be the first one to say that. I like being entertained, and it's not all that emotion. As I broke down again, the thing that opened my eyes was the 1976-77 championship. Dr. J and Bill Walton. The first two games they blow them out. Like it was like no, McGinnis was doing his thing. McGinnis was averaging 26 points a game, had been number 2 in the season before Dr. J came. McGinnis was the number 2 person in the MVP. McGinnis almost won the MVP his first year in the league. Then Dr. J comes. He's averaging 26. Doc is averaging 20-something. All right? This team was stacked. Prime Dawkins, averaging about 15, grabbing about 10 to 12 rebounds a game. Kobe Bryant's daddy was coming off the bench, averaging about 10, 12 a game. I mean, that Sixers team was stacked. Doug Collins had came back from injury, was playing Henry Bibby. Bibby's, his son, Bibby. But Henry Bibby, the daddy, that played at UCLA. That team was stacked. And then you talking about Bill Walton, Lionel Hollins, Bobby Gross. I mean, this, what's his name? Maurice Lucas, ex-ABA player that got in the fake fight with Dawkins to get Dawkins kicked out for the next game. Or Dawkins that kicked out of that game. I think they both missed the next game too. You got a dude that was scoring double figures rebounds and double figure scoring compared to Lucas that was scoring maybe 6 points a game, maybe getting you 4 rebounds. And he picks a fight. So, you see how that was staged. He was the muscle person. And they blow him out the first 2 games, then they lose 4 in a row. George McGinnis goes from a 26 points a game person to in the playoffs, in the final game, averaging 8 points. 8 points. Dude was averaging 26. And don't tell me that the Portland defense was that great. And not only to add injury to insult, he takes the last shot. Not Dr. J, who been killing him. McGinnis takes the last shot. So that was, trying to build up Bill Walton. And Bill Walton was a decent player. If you watch him that season, he hooped. They beat the Lakers and Kareem and Cazzie Russell, because Cazzie Russell used to wear 32 before Magic. It was Cazzie Russell. I think Bridges, a dude named Bridges, wore 32 with the Lakers at one point, but I'm pretty sure Cazzie wore it before Magic. Because in college, Magic wore 33, because Kelser wore 32. Greg Kelser wore 32. Of course, and then Magic in high school wore 32 like Dr. J. So that's why Magic actually changed his number in college. He was 33. And then, Jabbar, and then Magic goes pro. He wears 32 that he wore because of Dr. J in high school. Mario Riviera was the last to wear 42. He was a great closer, but you got it right. Arizona dog walked him. Yeah. It's like I'm like they bring him in, and the hitters they had coming up during that game. I'm like, I'm just yelling at the TV. He don't give up hits. And these weak dudes is getting hits off him left and right. Yeah, and he did wear the 42. Now they don't let anyone else wear 42. And the movie's called 42, and he's given 42 because Jackie Robinson wore number 5. I got the jersey. He wore number 5. So why would all of a sudden he wear 42? And we know it's a mocking. We know it's a way to mark him, 24 and 42. Again, I go on and on. Spencer Haywood wore 24. Connie Hawkins wore 42. Paul Warfield wore 42. Let me keep going. I think Zelmo Beatty, he wore 31. Let me think of some more famous 42s. I'm old man right now. But it's a bunch of them. And every time they wore it, you know. It was a, you know, it says what it says. And just like Fight Night, in Fight Night, I'm telling y'all, in Fight Night, in the very last scene where Kevin Hart becomes a preacher, look back at that board, and damn, and you know, everything on a TV set or a movie set is planned. And you look at the donations or the ties, you see 42. I caught that on another show. Go look through my old videos. I caught that on another show where it showed the church, and it's a black show, and it's a 42 up there. You know, there's a painting. They painted a picture, painted like what the picture looked like, and in the score you see 42. So if it's not so prevalent, why is it always showing up around melanated folks? So you know it's something to it, you know. I watched Bill Russell documentary. He was a great ball player in Boston, is still a racist town. Bill versus Witt was classic matchup. I'm glad I wasn't born in the 60s. Yeah. You loved Hank Aaron. I did too. I watched when he hit the channel. Hey, SG Sport Talk channel.
You got to have vision.
Thank you for joining. And that's where, you know, watching Bill Russell's documentary showed me the first manipulated shot. Because you know, if you watch me on this channel and my other channel before they took it off in 20, I always thought that the first manipulated shot was the shot from Don Nelson. When Don Nelson had that high bounce that we saw from Kawhi Leonard, I always thought that was the first manipulated shot, but it wasn't. The first manipulated shot was a shot they made miss. It was Erickson. Erickson shot a shot from the corner that would have beat the Celtics in, I think, 64. And I think I made a video. I showed a video on one of these. I found it, and I think I showed a video. Maybe you can go back and look. But the first manipulated shot was a shot from Erickson, I think 64. He shoots a shot from the left side of the court, and he was money. This dude shot a high percentage, and that they made that shot go out. And that's why I was saying before, they can make shots go in, they can make shots go out. You can see them rattle in and then push back out. And then it's like they can even manipulate swishes where it doesn't hit anything, but the thing that gives it away is you see how hard the drive is. That's why I was arguing to dude about vectors. A vector is the angle of drop. The angle that you're driving at. So when I would program a CMM, there's vectors, and I'd have to put the vectors on because when this machine, it had to drop at this precise point. So I had to program the vectors, and I had to measure what point of drop I wanted. So that's why the vector, it's the drop. You dig? So. Oh yeah, Derek. It you know, but that was, and you know, Jerry West. Then the very next year, Jerry West shoots it from the half court of the other team. He shoots it from the half court of the Knicks. That's how far that shot is. And as Lobo has commented, the net moves before the ball goes in, the net starts to move. So that shot was helped in. And then, of course, you know, the Ralph Sampson shot. No one believed that shot. Just throw it over your back. And again, you know, if you don't think, look that Kawhi Leonard up. And that video I made did really well. I was the first one to get that out of that Kawhi shot. That one did, but on my other channel, when that they took down and erased everything. But that shot is, and I was looking at it the other night, that shot is so ridiculous. Now, I did catch on Facebook the one I did on from the 16th season of, what's his name from State, number 25 from Michigan, or is it, yeah. Gosh, I'm old man and again, but I caught where his shot, like when I first recorded in 16 and I was going back and forth and I had slow motion on my TV, you could see where the ball is spinning. Draymond Green. You could see in Draymond's shot, you could see the ball spinning and the ball gets over the basket and it stops spinning. Now, what can make the ball stop spinning in midair? Do you hear me? The ball is spinning all the way to the basket. It gets over the basket and the spin stops. Now, normally what you expect is the spin to stop by hitting something. No, you can see something makes the ball stop spinning and it goes in. Now you look at the video, it's from 16, you know, so it's real foggy. Matter of fact, I caught him showing that again, and it looks doctored now. It really looks doctored. But back when I recorded it, that ball was, and even when I was looking at it fuzzy, you can still see where the ball's rotating, gets to the basket, just stops rotating and drops in. So, and they brag. That's why they don't care that you know it, that it, you know, it's basket manipulation, because they brag about it. That's why they keep showing it. They show Kawhi Leonard shot 1,000 times. And of course, don't forget, like when the ball gets stopped somewhere and you see the ball jump up all of a sudden, you know, or like when it goes over and goes into the backboard, you see it bouncing around where they're trying to get it out by the system. And then they gotta, you know, instead of them just bouncing it out, but sometimes you catch them where the ball is bouncing around back there on the backboard when it gets stuck. And they're trying to use the system to get it out, but then they're like, oh, we better get somebody to poke it out because it gives it away. That's why, you know, when people say, is Steph Curry all-time great? Like, we know when Michael Jordan hit his 7 threes in one game, that was all manipulated. They changed the rules. No more physical play when Michael Jordan comes in. No more hand checking. Like, there's a game where somebody made a great video, and please, I don't remember who it was, but they showed them play Portland. It was Portland against the Bulls, and they handled the Bulls. It was the year before. Then the next year, with the new rules in, Michael Jordan going to the free throw line. What did Magic say in the Olympics? Don't get too close for Michael. It might be a foul. And Michael Jordan was mad about that. If you catch his face, he's mad. And the only thing he could say is, oh, you ain't been playing. He insulted him. But Magic told the truth. Don't get too close to Mike. It's going to be a foul. Y'all remember when he said that in the Olympics? The 95 team? Steph Curry is one of the greatest shooters. You're one of the funniest goofiest on here. Okay. You one of them, huh? You one of them. Hey, PJ, take care of him. Kinetic energy is not kinetic energy, my friend. It is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson's. The second shot was Don Nelson's. It is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson's. The second shot was Don Nelson's. Fuck him. It is manipulated energy. Nobody trolling me. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson's. The second shot was Don Nelson's. I ain't even gonna say him. I'm gonna say I ain't even gonna say it is manipulated energy. Patrick Beverly trolling me. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. But I think all sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson's. The second shot was Don Nelson's. So Patrick, I ain't even gonna say him. I'm gonna say I ain't even gonna say it is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson's. The second shot was Don Nelson's. So Patrick, I ain't even gonna say him. I'm gonna say I ain't even gonna say it is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson's. The second shot was Don Nelson's. Fuck him. It is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson's. The second shot was Don Nelson's. Fuck him. It is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson's. The second shot was Don Nelson's. Fuck him. It is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy, and it has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson. The second shot was Don Nelson. But here, it is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy. This has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson. The second shot was Don Nelson. But here, it is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy. This has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson. The second shot was Don Nelson. But here, it is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy. This has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson. The second shot was Don Nelson. But here, it is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy. This has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson. The second shot was Don Nelson. But here, it is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy. This has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson. The second shot was Don Nelson. But here, it is manipulated energy. It is manipulated energy. This has happened since the very beginning. All sports are fixed. Again, the first shot was Erickson. The second shot was... where is it? Is this? No. Oh, shit. Taking myself out, y'all. I think I know where that's coming from. Is it this? It is not that. It is this. Okay. Not that. Oh, it's this. This is where I'm getting all that feedback from. Okay. Getting all that feedback, didn't even know it. Okay. Better. Hey, All Biz, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me.
Have vision.
Thank you for joining me. You should be able to hear me now. I know what I did. You should be able to hear me now. Fixed now. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I kind of killed myself. I had my Discord running. That's what I was doing, and I was like looking at it like, why? So yeah. But I think Brownie is gonna be all right. Yeah. Good. I'm glad it's fixed. Yeah, I figured that. I had to, the Discord was making. I saw where it was coming in because I was gonna try the Discord. So I was getting the feed from that too. So I was probably getting a little echo. But yeah, Brownie is gonna be okay. I think Tucker and Pat Beverly is two players you can kind of compare him to, and I would even say more athletic than both of them. And so he's locked in the Lakers. What they gave him, a 5-year guarantee, so he's locked in. They're gonna give him enough playing time to get better. I don't know that they're gonna put him ever in the G League. I don't know. I think he would benefit from playing G League games where he could play a whole game and kind of dominate. We see how Scottie Pippen's son, that helped. The G League helped him, because even in the Summer League, Bronny wasn't really dominating. And Bronny is a lot like his daddy where he does try to set people up. But defensively, I think is where he's going to get better quicker. And I think that the scoring comes. The scoring comes as it's needed. He already sees the floor very well. So it's scripted for him he'll do big things. It's scripted for him. They're not going to let him fail. They didn't put too much bread on him. They wanted him in L.A. And they're going to put, when LeBron retires, they're going to put people around him. And don't be surprised when the younger boy comes into the league that they put the younger boy with the Lakers with Bronny. I mean, that's what I see coming. That when LeBron's other son that's taller, when he comes into the league, and I would say the other boy is going to go to Duke or Ohio State. LeBron likes Ohio State, so I wouldn't be surprised if the other boy ends up at Ohio State.
So, when they break through that portal in Atlantic City, they're going to be in for a very rude awakening. The ice wall map that Reg, the bad guy, emailed me a while back. Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's like some of the maps show, I've seen maps that show multiple layers on Earth. Like we're encircled on one layer, another layer, and another layer. I mean, just from looking at the sky, and if you understand, like I was talking about curvature and stuff, the sky looks curved. The sky does not look flat. The sky looks curved. If you just look at it, it seems curved. So, I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. Maybe it seems like something different to y'all. I can't stay too late either. I got to get up early. But yeah, the Earth is a little curved. It looks curved. But I mean, I don't really like. I said before, the problem I had with mud flood is it's Aryan in nation, in its nature. Excuse me, it's Aryan. This is a way for a group of people who aren't ancient to say, hey, see, all this stuff was over there already. You know, that's how ancient we are. I mean, if you really look at where the mud flood came from and who were the first ones to put it out, that was Aryan people. Now, that's why I don't understand why melanated people take that mud flood stuff so seriously when the Aryan folks, the most racist of racist folks, came up with this stuff. Ain't no melanated people say, hey, you know what? That's why I laugh. They're like, well, we've been bombed and this civilization and all those houses. But what is this old dirty bastard's grandfather, great grandfather? Does he ever say, well, you know, out there, you know, we didn't ever dig none of this up. Only the Europeans can come in and dig and they find old houses. They didn't build the old houses. They dug them up in the ground. When a lot of times you see the old pictures of them destroying mounds. That's what you see. You see, they come in and destroy mounds. So if anything was destroyed and dug up, it was the mounds that was dug up. Look up the Shapiro mounds and all the things they pulled out of there, which prove that the Omen or Olmec did come into the Americas because all of them have bounded heads. That's why, you know, the Aztec are not the same as the Mayan and the Olmec, or Omen, which is the correct name. They're not the same people. Matter of fact, the Aztecs didn't even come from Mexico. They came from America. They came from Atlant, they call it. And more than likely Arizona, New Mexico, and then they migrated. And they were mercenaries. You know, the Aztecs, they tried to give them a lot of props. They was only in power 100 years. When we got the Mayan, 200-300 years, the Toltecs, 200-300 years, if not longer. We got the Olmec that go back to BC. Hundreds and thousands of years in BC. There's a Mayan stele that tells the time billions. And if you listen to me, this is nothing new. It's billions. They go back billions. You dig? So, I mean, you know, I don't knock nobody's research, but just some things to consider, that's all.
Your Saturday Night Live shorts are funny, and I heard laugh about the third 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah. They kind of get me sometimes, too. I don't understand why they do so well, but thank you. I just one day started, you know, doing, because I always thought that Michael Che and my man are funny. They going back and forth. And then they put other guests on that kind of ruin their back and forth. They're really good back and forth because they're the head writers there. They make the most bread. You know, that's who writes most of the skits for Saturday Night Live is Michael Che and what the guy that's married to Inger Johansson. And, you know, it's a Jewish show, if you know. I mean, most of the people are Jewish on there. Sir Hansen or whatever her name is.
They're both Jewish faith. There's a ice wall surrounding the seventh continent. Outside the ice walls are Atum, Thot, and Osiris. These Aryans built the ice wall to keep melanated black men's beings out.
Oh, okay. Okay, I don't know that I've experienced that. You know, if you've experienced that, well,
when I go through these different dimensions, I've never come across that. And I've been to a lot of different type of dimensions. As I said before, there's one timeline where I've said this many times, and this is something I wanted to talk about. And this is funny the way it makes you think. Like, I'm gonna stay on point, and then I'll get into the other part. But it's like, what's funny is, and like the young man says on that little short the guy shows, he says that, you know, are you afraid that we'll overcome you? And I do think that there was a time, because I've touched on the time where it's all melanated folks, and the Europeans is you know, they're not treated bad, but they are definitely treated. They're kept in Europe. They don't come over here. They're not allowed to come over here. They were defeated coming over here because, you know, the Vikings were defeated. The Vikings tried to come, when they say Leif Erikson and them, they tried to come and stay, and they got defeated and pushed back. They don't talk about that, but the Vikings got beat by the brothers and sisters that was here, beat the Vikings. So anyway, with that said, I wanted to make a point. See, the point is, if you like this is how much we're brainwashed. If you can imagine that black folks ran the world, what you imagine is us treating them like the John Travolta movie, us treating them like they treated us. That's what most people's imagination is if melanated people rule the world. We just reverse it. You know, we don't think in harmony. We don't think that, but in the reality I was able to hit, it's quite the opposite. We keep them in their place. We don't attack them. We keep them in Europe. We don't allow them to come here. And as I said before, you know, where the buffalo came, we built our highways. We let them roam. We didn't cut down all the forest. You know, we used the area sparingly because this land ain't ours. It was especially where the buffaloes lived. None of that. We respected that. As I've said before, the word for the car was Patterson. Wasn't car, it was Patterson. That's what they were called. That cat Patterson was the one that, you know, built cars and buses, but that was the word for a car. And we did not treat them bad. We just didn't deal with them. We didn't allow them to come over here. Not in any of the Americas. We controlled all North, Middle, and South America and the islands. We didn't allow them to come over. That was the only time we waged war with them. But our technology was so much higher where they never was able to penetrate over. And we didn't go over there to attack them. We just made them stay over there. We traded with them, but we didn't treat them bad. We didn't never try to overcome them. We had everything here in America. We just kept them from coming over. We traded with the Asians. We traded with that part of the country, but we found out that we couldn't deal with the Europeans. They were too crooked of people, evil people. And so we didn't really deal with them in that reality. We loved the land. We didn't need to dominate the land, tearing the land down. We lived in small pockets of the land, and we left the land what it was. The land was the land of the trees. See, we didn't feel that we had to just steal and kill and cut down, slaughter all the animals. We didn't do that. We built our society around the animals, where the animals were still free, where most of the trees were still there. And that's how high elevated that society was. Kept the Europeans out. Traded with the Asians, but we traded with the Europeans, but we did not allow them to come over here, not even to visit. They couldn't even come over to visit. We discouraged them and we sent them back. And our technology was so good where they never caught up in that reality. They never caught up. But they show that John Travolta, they show the opposite, where we mad at them and we make them slaves. And that is one thing they've worried about. And like what you saying, if that was possible, that's one possibility I could see. That because it does appear like somewhere history was changed. Like to say Cortez came over here with 500 men and conquered 100 million men with crude muskets, a few cannons, which eventually they had to run out of cannonballs. They had to. You know, how are they fighting forever in a hot climate? Please explain that to me. How did they sleep? How, like if the way we look at it, if we knew somebody was there, if I got 100,000 people and all they got is 500,
It's like the Spanish Armada. They had enough boats to just run into the English boats and kill them. But they tell you some storm, some weather warfare destroyed all the Spanish ships. This is how silly their stories are. I mean, really, if Cortez set ground with only 500 men, I send 100,000. I don't care if I got guns or not, and they got a few cannon. I'm constantly sending men at them. And eventually they're going to get tired of fighting. That's just human nature. I don't care if they got swords or not. If I got manpower, I'm shooting arrows at them. We're going to overpower them. That was proven in Vietnam. We had more firepower. You know how many bases got overran, and the bases had big cannons and shit and machine guns, and all the Viet Cong had was AK-47s, and they would still overrun American bases, and they had them big cannons and shit that shooting bombs miles away, and they were still getting overrun because they would send so much manpower. So I prefer that Europeans go to the biosphere, condos on Mars, and don't come back. Well, but like, you know, I've said it before about Planet of the Apes. You know, if you watch, I think it's Planet of the Apes 1, where they find the people that live in the lower areas, and the people all are, you know, radiation has burned their face off, so they all wear masks, and they worship their god is the bomb, because they know that the bomb can kill the apes. And at the end of it, Charlton Heston, and this is how they feel. If it ever became even, or melanated people truly without it being crooked, because we live in a crooked system, but if it was ever even and crooked, they would rather try to destroy the world before they'd let us be in charge and things have their natural order. They would literally blow this world up as much as they could. They would contaminate the water, as they did with the buffalo. They would try to, you know, poison all the food sources and starve us to death. That's what they would try to do. But they would try to blow us up and blow themselves up. That's how vain they are. If they can't be in control, they can't visualize, conceptualize them not doing what they're doing. You think the Rothschilds ever think? And you don't think the Rothschilds have technology, the Collins family, you don't think they have technology that we can't even imagine to secure, to make sure we never catch up with them? So, what'd you say? I wonder if the saber-toothed tiger and the giant walrus, like those shows in the movie The Eye of the Tiger, were the guardians that kept the Caucasians out for thousands of years. It could have been. I mean, we know dinosaurs is some bullshit. You know, they never find a real dinosaur. They find bones they make cast of. They're all cast. You know? So there's no dinosaurs. And dinosaurs really is the Placidians that supposedly lost the war. And if you check into Jupiter Rising, that they are subservient to the European. And then in Jupiter Rising, they show the European looking people, when they conquered, they were bringing humans for them to eat. They were raising humans for their food. But remember one part, when they went to their planet was all full of fire, where they had tore up all their, you know, it was like everywhere there was fire. So their own world, they had burned up. You know, they were just taking natural resources after natural resource. As I've said many times, if you look at your world, why are the trees so new? Well, look at what happened to the Dust Bowl in the Midwest. Kansas, Arkansas, Nebraska, parts of Texas, because they killed the land. They didn't know about rotating crops and stuff. So they had a period where the earth fought back. I mean, when Cortez first came and started killing all those people, the same thing happened, because they were used to the rain cycles. They were used to the farming and the rain cycles from the farming. And once the farming stopped, it had a mini ice age, because the natural flow of the world was changed that much, where the world kind of fought back. And then you look at what they started doing. They started blowing up atomic bombs in the Middle Earth, in the earth. Ronald Reagan, in my life, they were blowing that shit up all the time. They were so proud of testing atomic bombs. They were showing that shit, where they'd put them atomic bombs under the ground and boom. And then we know in the 60s with Kennedy and Russia, they were sending atomic bombs into the air and blowing them up. Operation Thor, I think is what it's called. Operation Thor. They were literally shooting these missiles up in the air and blowing them the fuck up if they have atom bombs. But they were definitely blowing up missiles. They have missiles. I don't think they have atomic bombs. Again, if you look at Hiroshima, it just looks like radiation poison. That's what it looks like more than the bomb just blew stuff. Because again, why didn't they blow up the Chinese in Korea? If they so-called had these atom bombs, a million Chinese came into Korea, which was an act of war. And MacArthur said, you got these bombs, give me these bombs, we bomb here, 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 they'll stop, and we'll have China. But they didn't do that. Instead, they fired MacArthur. So that just shows you, when they talk about a neutron bomb, they're talking about a bomb that will just kill people, but won't blow up the buildings. Remember doing the neutron dance? That's what the neutron bomb was supposed to be. It wouldn't blow up buildings, it would just kill people. Oh, I brought it up here to show you guys. This is my Sugai water. I had it out in the moonlight the other night. This is about a pound of shungite. I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna get it from my Russian guy. I don't know how quality this doesn't quite look good, but the water's excellent. Generally about 24 hours, you keep it in there. Like if you get shungite, you gotta rinse it, let it sit for about 24 hours, and then you can start drinking out of it. And it's funny how it looks. Well, it's clear since because when I first put it in there, it was kind of dark looking, but it's dark looking because of the shungite is dark. But when you pour it into glasses, as you see, it looks like this. So you can find this, but did I take it? Yeah, I think I took my, the one piece I had up here, because you want to see silver in it and you want to see pyrite in it. That's the better kind. So I got to get in touch with my Russian guy, find his site on Etsy and get another pound and put that in there too. But one thing I like is they tell you how to clean it a little better, because the other didn't really tell you how to clean it. They just say leave it out in the moonlight, but they gave me a better way to clean it. So where am I? I'm sorry. I wonder if is it what I told a friend of mine? They would destroy the earth before letting us rule it. Exactly. The dragon folk and the serpent folk sure do like to eat white meat. Melanated folks are related to them. Amma, Namos, and Yurgra are reptilians that mix with the Dogon. Now that I can dig. There is it does appear like there is a type of reptile type of being, because that's where the dinosaurs come from, and I think almost you could tie it into the birds and maybe like a type of bird people. Remember Hank or no Rogers. What was the TV show Rogers? He had a friend that was a bird man. And then what is it, Marty? Nick and Marty? The Marty show? They have a bird man on that Marty show. Marty and his grandfather, they have a bird on that show. But Rogers, what was his name? Rogers. Buck Rogers. On the Buck Rogers TV show, there was a bird man. And remember the Batman character, I think it's Marvel character that we saw in what was it? Black Adam. Remember Black Adam? We got Hawkman. Well, if you were into the cartoon, they were a type of bird people too. Hawkman, it was Hawk Girl, and their story related a little bit to the bird people. Because you have to look back, it's like, why would they want a superhero that was like a bird? Now, some of it's kind of Anunnaki-ish too, because if you think of War of the Gods, they turned into these golden birds, remember, in War of the Gods? And that was very, it's supposed to be about ancient Kemet, but it's really more of an Anunnaki story if you looked at it. I think it was called War of the Gods, where they showed Horus with his eye out, the popular actor back then. But when they could turn into these big golden birds, remember that part? So, Biz, Land of the Lost, best reptilian of the lizard people. That's a good point. What's happening, Biz?
You got to have vision.
Well, they say Montezuma allowed the Spaniards to enter because he thought he thought it was divine. I think they came up with that later because really what they were trying to say is, well, two things I've said this many times is You know, Montezuma's people saw them through in one of his mirrors 10 years before they came. One of his priests saw the Europeans coming 10 years before in a mirror. So you know, like there's some thoughts that he was, you know, that the people were, that he got the information of the white feathered serpent. So he came in and wore a white jacket. I don't know about that. And it was a mistake of letting them go into the city was a mistake. But again, the city had, they say, 100,000 people. So I don't care if you got swords or what do you got. And again, they had never seen anything like it. That's why I've said many times, when they talk about Atlantis, they talking about that Mexican city that Cortez found. Because if you read what Plato describes, he describes that Mexico City. And this is supposedly be, you know, before, but that's it. Read Plato, and I've got it. It's in the Gnostic text. Plato's, some of his writings are in the Gnostic Bible. And what Plato describes is exactly what Cortez describes. You read some of Cortez's notes. It's almost identical to what they call Atlantis. That's why the other part about Mexico City or Toctocantin, however you say it, was the Aztecs didn't build that. They inherited it. As I said, these guys was only in power for 100 years. If you go from Montezuma 1 to Montezuma, I think it was Montezuma 2 that the Aztec conquered, they had only been maybe 125 years as the timeline. And then again, they didn't bound their heads as the Mayan did, and we know the Omen did. And the Omen go back to about 6,000 BC, or they don't really know. But they bound their heads to take you out of this reptilian brain back here. You move that up, you know, you're not in that reptilian thinking. So they made us look more like them. They want that reptilian brain of ours sitting where it's sitting, instead of what the old people did, is they bound our heads as babies, so that's set in a different spot. So we look more like, you know, they've made us more like reptilian-like because they stopped bounding our heads. It changed the way, it made us less right brain thinking. You know, it made us, you know, more left brain thinking, because that's what the European is. He's left brain. That's why that bloodlust they have. So they made us more like them in their image. That's why the bounding heads. So, in the Buck Rogers episode, reptilians disguise themselves as humans, fooled everybody except Buck Rogers because he's from the 20th century. Buck made the room real cold to expose them. Yeah. But remember, his main man was that bird dude. Remember that? And my brother always would crack up because I was like, damn, that motherfucker had to be hot. You know, they walking around tropical places and this nigga's got a hot bird suit on. And you know, I got nothing against birds. Birds are beautiful. All animals, all nature is beautiful. And it's like, as I said before, when you have animals, or I like my plants here, it's great to take care of things and show them kindness and love. It's like your pets. Not only do you walk them like dogs, not only do you walk them, you interact with them. You know, when they get sick, you take them in, you buy them food, you give them water. Because they don't hunt for us unless you have a cat, and cats will hunt like a motherfucker. You know, the reason why you don't want your cats out, because cats will fuck some birds up. Yeah, they'll keep the mice away, but they'll keep the birds away from your crib too, because they'll fuck birds up. I know my female cat, I've told the story before. I was trying to dig this rock out. This big giant boulder was under this tree, and I was trying to get it out so I could take it. And I saw something jump, and I walked over and looked at it. My cat had found a bird that was perched low, and she fucked him up. And you know, the bird looking up at me, he can't fly no more, and she's just like looking up at me like, what? Kundalini yoga is the yoga of the serpentine power that's used to master the reptilian brain, known as taming the dragon. I don't know about that. I mean, I understand the concept of what they teach. That's what they teach, that it comes from your spine and it comes up. But like not my Kundalini, you know, I call it that because that's the only name I've been trained to call it. But I don't call on nothing like that to move it through me. You know, and it don't just come like the Kundalini I get don't just come from my spine and up. It covers my whole body. And you know, truth be told, as the way they say it is, you know, you do, when you have a true Kundalini experience, you do bump up like a reptilian. You do bump up. I mean, you get, you know, like goosebumps. They call it goosebumps when you get goosebumps. So when that, because that Kundalini can hit every part of your body. Literally, you can feel your feet, that feeling in your feet. I mean, it's just such a warm feeling that just, you can just tell. I'm getting a little bit of it now. I'll give a little bit of it out. But it can be whole body. You know, when you truly hit it, it can just hit your whole body. Like I'm feeling it now. Now, sometimes it'll hit the top, sometimes it hit the bottom, or sometimes like I'm feeling now, it just hits everything. Like I stand in front of my altar back here, you know, during the full moon, and I'm just getting rush after rush of it. And so, yeah, you know, I'm not saying no, but I'm saying that it's not just limited to that. It's not just limited to your spine coming up and the dragon moving through you. That's what we've been taught. We've been taught that. But I think there's more to it than that. And there's other avenues of it too. Because, you know, I go to different realms and different experiences, and, you know, it's nothing to do with them or that. You know, it's totally something different. Here's something rattling in my headphones. I'm like, what? Oh, okay. It's just the way I got them on. So interesting. Inner totems are the eagle, the fox, and the panther, and the black jaguar. Yeah, I gotta, and you know, I think another part is like we ignore as amphibians. You know, it's like we are born like amphibians. And then we turn human, but we start as pretty much like a tadpole. You know, is that right? A toad? Yeah, a tadpole. Excuse me, a tadpole. We pretty much start like a tadpole. And then we evolve more human, but we start off, you know, we actually, our heart is the first to develop. And I mean, I've really like, you know, as I said, you know, being the Monkey King and being encased in the mountain, having to figure out how to come out that mountain. The only way I learned how to come out is I had to recreate myself. And I started as a heart. And then I had to develop each system till I could finally push myself out of the mountain through evolving through the mountain. I had to reborn myself out of the mountain. And then, as I've said before, the people that locked me into the mountain, you know, they were long gone. And it appeared like I started my own civilization after that, after coming out of all that. And I've told that story many times, but it was like I had to be reborn in the mountain. And I think that's why I'm so attracted to crystals, you know, because it seems like that is part of me too. And, you know, a Super Saiyan, I always talk about that, but look at when they become a Super Saiyan. That's a part of Kundalini is what they're showing you, you know. One of the avenues is the glow surrounding your body with Leroy in the movie. Yeah, indeed. And I think that explains it better, you know, with your whole body, what your whole body experiences. You know, now I felt it coming through my spine up too, but I think I've got past the point where, yeah, I would say I get more of that glow feeling because it's encases my whole body, you know. And it's interesting where you can get it where it comes out of your thighs, out of your loin area. I mean, it's like as you keep evolving, it hits different parts of you at different times. It's like depending on what the inspiration comes from. The inspiration can come from different things, and a lot of times your body reacts to what part of your body that inspiration is inspired by. You know, and like as I mentioned, a lot of times it'll be in my legs too. It won't come up here. It just be in my legs. Or a lot of times it'll start in the legs and then push up. A lot of times it'll start here and push down. And a lot of times it's just all around me. It's kind of hard to say that it's one way because it's more than one way. But it's such a, even now it's rising, lightly rising. And it's just, I don't know, it's something that's natural and that's free. And it's like the ultimate gift that you get, that there's something that's so powerful. Let me give it out. Wow. That there's just something powerful in us that it comes from us, that we create it. What do they call this? Kundalini? No, it's called, what are my stones here called? I know I lost the bag. chakras. That's why, I've said before, to me, chakras would be like a bunch of different worlds, like a room full of worlds. I've got this chakra stuff where it's like, yeah, it's the 7-8 chakras here, but the whole room is full of that shit. It's little worlds spinning in the whole room. So that's what I was able to create. That's why I don't really teach that, because I can't teach anybody how to make all those worlds come out and not just 6 or 7. I mean, the whole room be spinning with little worlds in it. So I don't know how to teach that to anybody. I can just bring it up, but how to bring that now? Did me working with the chakras, is that how? I would say yes, that did start it. But once I learned that I could bring more of that out, then I was like, yeah, this limits you, because this is only teaching you about these worlds. It ain't teaching you about all this other stuff all around you. So, it's kind of hard to teach that. And it's like things you can't teach, like a lot of spiritual things you can't even teach. You can discuss, but like I couldn't really teach people. Now I think open up the hallways, and it's up to you to go in them. It's like when I talk about where they at? And I mean, I mention this all the time. This is a great way. Like, you get these apopolite, like if you really want to just do some easy kind of ways to open up hallways just by yourself, you can get these apopolite pyramids. These kind of pyramids. Now, these are the kind of pyramids where you don't necessarily have to be on top of them. You put these around you. And that's why one thing I do teach, and I'll teach anybody, is no, I'm missing one. Dang, where is it at? I'm missing one. I teach that, like the terrace pyramid. I don't teach like the witches teaching a circle. And I'll say this, like the reason the witches teach circles is this is comes from John D. and Jim Kelly, and Kelly, not Jim Kelly, but Kelly. That was their way of controlling these ancestors when they would call them up. They had to have them circled so they could bind. That's why, they teach you witchcraft and binding. Because when these Europeans started finding out the ancestors that we were working with, they had to bind them to get them to do it. What do they tell you? Solomon had a ring that could control him. Well, he had a ring that could control him. We never felt we had to control our ancestors. Ancestors just helped us. So for the European way of doing things, they need to circle it and bind so they can control. I'm missing one of my pyramids. Bummer, I'm missing it. I only see 3. I gotta look around to find the 4th one. I'm always losing these. And crystals, they vibrate where they go sometimes too. And these are amplifiers. So when I open up the terrace for me, I have these type of amplifiers in front of me as well. And I put all this stuff in a box, because the box is representative of the terrace. Instead of circling myself, we could even do the same with candles. You can put candles on the terrace. I got a candle burning back there. So, what'd he say? Only the universe and the master teachers is life can teach you that. Indeed, indeed. Active meditation practices taught to me by my Kung Fu instructors about mastering Shinkyu and Jing to produce the glow and the flow of the taste. That's positive. Oh, bummer. I had like 6 of these little pyramids, and now I'm missing one. Huh, maybe I can use this. Is this on here? Did it fall off? Oh yeah, I could use that. Put that on there. So this came out of nowhere. I'll glue that sucker on. Okay, I needed something small. There we go. Gotta find my little pyramid. But like I use the shapes and stuff. I got those in my daughter's room, but I use those at times. I'll put the shapes out. I'll put these cards out. And I got told before, I put all my card deck out on a full moon. And these particular cards, I kind of squared myself with all these cards. And these are the Mayan, the Yucatan Tarot, the Mayan Tarot deck. And I put all these cards out. Man, when I got done, my cats was messing with them. And I think I burned a little incense or something. And them cards activated. Both cats jumped in the air. And because they were like seeing the cards and they was stepping on them. And man, when I put all them cards down and they activated, the cats jumped off like electricity hit them. I mean, they both at the same time jumped back off them damn cards. So that was a pretty good meditation. I still do that from time to time. I mean, spirituality is so individualized. You know, you can help kind of lead, but it's like up to the person how far they want to take it, how far they can take it, and then find what's your truth. And you know what spiritual there's guides. I mean, you know, like a lot of people when they talk about spirit guides and things, what you know, they're not an all the time thing. I hear them talk about, you know, well, I've got to go talk to the guys, but from my experience, it's like they're there when you really need them more than just randomly reading some cards. They're there when real shit hits. And you hear a little voice of advice. That's what the guides are for. They're not just, well, you know, do I need to buy this or buy that? Or somebody asks you a question, I need to talk to my guides. It don't really work like that, at least for me. It's a lot more serious. You know, it's like, hey, I need somebody, you know, hey, somebody's up there to help me. And that's, you know, that's the false thing of hope. And thinking that if you're about to die, there's only the dog or the god or the Gould. That's the problem. Because, you know, you talk to any veteran, they say, most people say, oh God, when they die. And that's a lock. That locks you into the dog, the god, the Gould. It doesn't open you up to your true spiritual place. This is the game of life. It's actually sharing with others online, offline. The real style actually hasn't hit yet. I gotta find my other little pyramid. I'm bumming. I only see 3 of them. Somewhere on this floor is 2 other ones, but I usually have 4. So it's another one somewhere. And then this is quartz with riddle in it. Can you see that? Like the little hairs, riddle. That's a type of little quartz. Kind of looks like a string. Bought this in Michigan years ago. But it's an amplifier too. And the riddle, I think is how you say it. It has some properties too. You know, all this has purpose. You know, everything has a purpose. Hope is the tool of the clouded mind and the chained heart. Yeah, exactly. It's a trap. It's a trap or a trick. It's false. I mean, it's like hope is almost a false hope. Now, but I mean, we don't really, and that's the problem with English is like when we really want to call on something in a crisis time, we only know English to call on it. You know, we don't know that we can just feel a certain way and put it in our mind, and then that can come help us. Because that's really what the real spiritual connection does to you, is you put in your mind what you need, and you don't put it out there in English. You put it out there in just spiritual language, I guess is the best way to say it. Is like you think it instead of you using this English words, you know, because all English words are spell and limiting. English is a very limiting language as well. It's a constant spell on yourself. Like I'm part of some witching communities, and I was trying to explain to them about a parrot spell, and I'm like, wait a minute, you telling me nobody else doesn't notice? Like they show the news when the news says exactly the same thing, and they say the same slang and sayings, and when it wasn't that long ago, everybody was saying at the end of the day. Sly was bad about that. He was really, it's like. And I used to get on the Gipper about that. It's like, because everybody was hearing it so much. And then when I started hearing athletes on TV saying it, Well, you know, he caught that touchdown, but you know what? At the end of the day, what does the end of the day got to do with getting a touchdown? But it's that kind of parenting spell. And again, the newest spell is perfect. Like, how do I go to all these states in the summertime and everywhere I go eat, I give my order and there's like, perfect. How is that? How is it these people that don't know each other, but yet they're saying the same thing at the same period in time? How is that? If that's not a spell, if that's not a parenting spell, and almost like a computer program where they put programs out there and the people don't know anything else to say. You know, if you can dig that. The people don't know anything else to say. And I'm the only one that talks about that, the parenting spells. That's why you can go back to any, like it's funny. The one time on my old show, and this is back in 20 or 19, I caught myself. I almost said it and I caught myself. And like, I like the guy, so I don't really want to know, but like, there's another spell that really wasn't that strong, but it was like, I'm not going to say what was said, but it's like, it's a group of 3 dudes, y'all know them, and one said a spell, and then all of a sudden the other one started saying it. Now, before the third came on, he wasn't saying it, but the one guy said the spell a couple of times, and all of a sudden this other dude starts saying it. And I like the guy, so I don't want to, seem disrespectful, but it's like, you see how weak people are mentally, that you can hear somebody else say something, and then you start putting it in your conversation. You know? We can't stand that. Exactly. You can't stand that shit. The ultimate calling to is silence. Silence is the ultimate form of prayer. Silence is the art of the majestic meditation, the staff, and the mystic. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful, bro. And so, we have to be mindful of how you talk and what you say, and not trying to sound like everybody else. And it's like, this is how far we've come. And I've talked about this before, and I was just thinking about it earlier, so I'm going to mention it again. I've mentioned it before, but it's like, when I was a child, it was, civil rights and everything. But when I saw another brother, it was this: power, power. And as a little boy, when you would throw power to an older boy, and the older boy would throw it back, I mean, that was such inspiration. I mean, it was a period where you didn't really shake hands, but when you came up close to somebody, you throw it up. Like, instead of me shaking your hand, I'd be like, I'll do like this. What's happening? Right on. Instead of us shaking hands, we throw it up and he throw it up back to me. But if we pass each other in the car, you see a brother walking, brother throw it back to you. That's how much unity we had as a people. If we just saw one of our people, any city in the 70s, 60s, you just do like this, they would do like that back to you. That's power to each other. That's how much we used to love each other as a people. And this is just in the 60s and early 70s. And later that was phased out. But that's what we used to do to each other. Not fight and kill each other. We used to give power to each other. What's happening? What's happening back? That's how much as a people we loved each other. Well, this was very common. Like Kaepernick didn't start not standing. I mean, that's how it started. It's like in the 60s, like when I was a little boy, melanated people never stood for the national anthem. For the time, I didn't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. The only time I stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance was kindergarten and first grade and second grade. From third grade until 6th, my father was like, don't stand up for that shit. And he went up to the school and said, he ain't standing up for that shit. So I sat down while everybody else got up and did the Pledge of Allegiance. And it's programming. My father, they definitely programmed me to be kind of a rebel. So that was a type of program I see. My father was probably a light handler. And when we would go to games, like a college football game or a college basketball game, all the Europeans would stand up for the national anthem. None of the melanated people would. And imagine a gym where one side is all melanated people, the national anthem come on, 3,000 people on this side sit down, this 3,000 people on that side stand up. This was college too. This wasn't just high school, but college too. We as melanated people did not stand up for that. 68, 69, 70, 71, all the way up until I was forced to stand up in 77. So for a 7-8 year period, we didn't stand for that shit. So Kaepernick was just copying that behavior. That's all. He was copying behavior that had already been done. Because he tried to sit. Let's not forget, at first Kaepernick tried to sit, but nobody gave him attention sitting. So somebody gave him advice about kneeling. And kneeling is submissive. That don't show power. Kneeling, that shows to be submissive. You know, when you get knighted, you kneel down when you get knighted by the king or queen. So that's already being submissive. Kneeling down. Sitting is ignoring it totally. You're being under it when you kneel. They act like that was revolutionary. It was nothing but a program. Program of subservience. It wasn't brilliant. It wasn't revolutionary. And what did the NFL start doing? All of them started holding hands doing it, even the owners. They kneeled and then got up, just like they do when you get knighted. You kneel down, they knight you, you get back up. That's what it turned into. And so this is what we was as a people. Marshawn Lynch didn't stand either. Yeah. And you sit. You would sit. And I'm saying that used to be a norm. Me now, my wife, you know, she's 10 years younger than me, but in my experience, my brother went through it too. We go to a Western Michigan University game, all the black folks wouldn't stand up. That place held about 7,000-8,000 probably. I think my high school only held about 3,000, but I think the Western Michigan held about 7,000-8,000 back then. And you literally, if the place was packed and it was a high school or regional game, you would see half the audience not stand. Oh, my mama told me never forget the way of the peaceful warrior. She always had a special understanding of the path that I am on. The path of the Jedi. Sly really has no idea. I think he does. You know, I think he has an idea. I mean, I ain't got nothing to say about that nigga. You know, I don't have any feelings one way or another. His thing is one thing and my thing is another thing. And it's like, I don't have to think about him. I don't have to talk about him because he's never really on my mind. I mean, you guys bring him up. I watch him occasionally, but as I said before, he doesn't give out the kind of information where, like, you want to catch him live, but it's not the kind of information where you want to watch it where it's recorded. It's not really worth listening to, in my opinion, unless it's live. You know, it's like once he's over and it's not really something you would re-listen to learn anything because it's a lot of gossip, you know. I talk about the morbid news and stuff like that, but I really stay away from, I mostly talk about spirituality and sports. So, that's kind of what my thing is. Oh, did you guys, I saw a video. Let me see if I can find this for y'all. This was kind of mind-blowing. And I don't know if it's true or not, but let's see if I can find this in my history and I'll play it. If I can find it. This shit was wild. Let's see. Let's go into history. See if I can show this shit. Now it'd be in shorts.
Bath and Body Works has stopped selling a candle.
It ain't that. But it was about see, I ain't listening to none of this shit. Why ain't this my history? Huh. Yeah, I don't know where this shit's coming from. I ain't listening to none of this shit. Let's see. This is it. I didn't listen to none of that. None of that. Huh. It's supposed to be my history. Let's see. Trying to find. Well, what it showed is supposedly a 300-year-old man. And it looked like a 300-year-old man. He's very delicate, very skinny. And again, if you live 300 years, it was, no, this would have been Sunday. So Sunday morning. Huh.
Yeah, it didn't save it. And it's supposed to save your shorts. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. But it showed supposedly 300, like some of this shit I ain't even looked at. It's just showing random shorts. It's not showing shit I listen to. Some shit, I only listen to it for 10, 15 seconds. Is this it? No, see, it'll be before all this. I saw it today. But yeah, it showed a 300-year-old man, y'all. I am not getting a true history of what I watched. It would have been up here. But yeah, it didn't save it. But because this is older stuff.
Bath and Body Works has
But it
stopped
showed a
selling
300-year-old
candles.
man. And, if you look at some of my thumbnails, I show the man 200 and some years old. He was born in 1680 or 90 and didn't die till 1936. This man was 200 and some years old. And he mostly just ate herbs and stuff. Now, this 300-year-old dude didn't look as healthy as that 200. And again, the 230-year-old dude, we don't know when the picture is taken how old he is in that picture. Because pictures what didn't come out to what, the early 1800s? 1814 is the first president of Adams. I think it was 1814 was a picture of him. So we don't know in the picture of the 230-year-old man actually how old he is. But it's still possible. But yeah, this 300-year-old man, his ears was huge because your ears just always grow. I think your feet can grow too, because damn if I don't wear a size 14 now, or Nike's just making their shoes smaller. I don't know. I don't know why I can't see this shit. Playlists, your videos, watch later, your clips. No, should be in my history. Huh. Yeah, I can't find it, y'all. Cannot find it. Huh. Oh, well. I guess you just gotta take my word for it. Soul Provider speaks young YouTuber calls me Mac Bones Sensei. That's nice. That's nice. Oh, but my point is like the way we looked at each other, segregation wasn't bad. Now they talk about it, it wasn't bad. And, the reason why they didn't want to segregate it, they learned that, we make good money. So they didn't want segregation. That's where King was used. And I think, and the reality is when they took that bread from King turned on them and started talking against the Vietnam War and what a sham it was and what it was aimed to. And the Vietnam War mostly was to kill baby boomers. And it killed 50,000 baby boomers. Just think of 50,000 times family. We're talking about millions of people. That because that 50,000 people died, millions of people weren't born. A whole generation of people. And they really did, go after baby boomers. I mean, a lot of people don't understand. Can you imagine? Imagine this. You graduate from high school, and then 3 weeks later, you get a letter. You graduate high school in June, you get a letter 3 weeks later, early July, and by September, you go into one of these army camps, army bases for boot camp. And after 9-10 months, then you go to Vietnam. There's a song called 19 because the average person went to Vietnam at 19 years old. And you go somewhere where there really are no rules. They done taught you how to be an imbecile psychopath. They give you guns, but it's a year of no rules. And luckily, what brothers started doing was when they saw the sham of it, they refused to fight. That's really why the U.S. pulled out. And I've said this many times. Brothers and people quit fighting. Even the Europeans quit fighting. They would bring all these gung-ho people from West Point or Annapolis, and they would kill them. Their own men would kill them. They done got some of their friends killed because of their stupid, what does he say in Platoon? Your fucked up fire mission killed some of our people because you bombed us. So if a new person came in that was a lieutenant or something and was all gung-ho and got some people killed, when they would go back to base camp, they would call what they would do is frag him. They would kill him. They'd have to send somebody else in new. And then the system of, rotating after a year, you can't be a real killer
and really know your way in just a year. Then all they doing is got you counting down to when you leave. You ain't thinking about killing. That's why in Dead Presidents, what did dude say? What did Trey Lance? Is that his name? That played Old Dog. What does he say in Dead Presidents? I don't want to see none of that shit. I don't want to know any pictures. I don't want to talk about that shit. All I want to do is focus on where we the fuck at and kill these motherfuckers. Remember that in Dead President? Say, don't show me that fucking picture. I don't care about none of that shit. I'm over here and I got to deal with this shit. This is all I want to think about is over here being an imbecile psychopath, killing. One of my ex told me a story about her uncle running and hiding from the recruiter. Yeah, the Vietnam War was started because of CIA, Air America, and drug money. Lorenz Tate. Yeah, Lorenz Tate. Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, the Frank Lucas thing, and I've told the story many times. I heard about Frank Lucas and my roommate that was in Vietnam. He was like, you know what? There was a sergeant that was shipping dope through bodies. And we were roommates in 80. He moved in my apartment in 82, maybe 83. That's how long ago. Before I ever heard about Frank Lucas, he told me that story, that there was a dude moving heroin through dead bodies. Back in 82, 83, whenever he was my roommate. I don't quite remember, maybe 82. So, yeah, and it was to control dope. I mean, what do you think Afghanistan was for? Heroin. I mean, people forgetting, unless you was a hustler, people just think there was just crack, where there was really just as good money selling heroin. Heroin never went away. And heroin users back then, you didn't see them all nodding out like that, being in the middle of the street, leaning like, they call it lean. You just didn't see that kind of thing. I mean, heroin people see you, once, twice a week. Not like crack. They come in every hour as long as they got money. That's how crack was. But heroin people weren't like that. As I said, in the 50s and 60s, you had functional casual heroin users. They wasn't selling shit to get more heroin. Heroin was cheap. You get $10 heroin all day, and that's enough to last you a couple days. They used to put, what did they call it? The half a pill. They would stuff pills with heroin, and you could buy some of them pills, caps they called them, and you could buy them little caps of heroin. So, $1, $2, $5 to get that little shit. So, it wasn't like the crack thing where you're getting these little dimes or 20s or whatever, and you keep coming back, because it's that addictive. That's why they called it some more. You get high the first time, and you keep trying to get that first time high feeling. You keep chasing it over and over and over again. And it never comes back. You chasing something that never comes back. That feeling that you got that hit all them endorphins, yeah, and that hooks you because you keep trying to hit that. But in the meantime, you're destroying yourself, and you never feel that way again. So pretty much a one-time shot. I done sucked this to death. It ain't sweet no more, it's just tobacco. And I don't mind sucking on tobacco. Well, shit, I gotta go. I gotta get up early, but I do want to kind of be sleepy tomorrow. Damn, I've been going almost 2 hours. I ain't got nothing against anybody. I ain't jealous of anybody. I got everything I need. I literally have everything I need. I don't care how, it's like what I care about more than anything is some people listening to me and find something helpful. Because I say I give freely, and that's real. I try to give freely to people. I mean, the sports thing, I am the holder of this infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins. So that's why I got to talk about the fixing of it. To make sure people understand that this is like a movie. It's just entertainment. It's not real. And so don't get all emotional over something that's not real. Have fun with it. You can follow the teams. You can make money off it. You can do fantasy football. You can bet. You can do parlays. And if you know they're fixed, it helps you break the parlays down. So use it. You're going in and saying, well, it's fixed. How are they going to fix it this weekend? And that's the way to attack it. And that's all. You know, and that's why, you know, sports is a big part, because I enjoy it. I mean, sports to me is spiritual. You know, it's a very spiritual part. Just think of like you guys that play basketball. Basketball by yourself is one of the most satisfying things you could ever do. Every time you put it in that basket, you get a reward. There's no other sport like it. You don't need anything but a ball and a hoop. And I know, you know, when I was little, we would make a hanger and use socks. Play basketball like that in the house before the Nerf hoops came out. And then when the Nerf hoops came out, man, you know how much I just shoot all day on the Nerf hoop. The weather in the wintertime, playing one-on-one with people in the house, playing one-on-one with my babysitters, dunking on them and stuff, because I could get by them. I mean, you know, so sports is spiritual.
What do you think about this phenomenon, cannabinoid hypernemesis syndrome that is sweeping the nation? I don't know. I have to look that up. CHS, cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. I don't know that. Let's look that up. Let's see what that means. I don't know. I haven't heard about that. Thank you for bringing it up. That's how to spell that shit. Let's see, you get a little more. Seems that weed is starting to make people ill. I have it and can no longer smoke without becoming. Wow, I haven't heard about that. Well, okay. Well, once the government started taking over, you know, it was probably a matter of time before. Because first they was like saying that the weed was too strong. And I'll admit, you know, part of my health issues was from taking gummies. You know, the thing that gave me atrial fibrillation was gummies. Of using gummies for the last 2-3 years. That's what gave me atrial fibrillation was gummies. Delta 9, Delta 10. Weed never did me like that. Maybe hash or strong wax, but never. So yeah, it's like weed didn't have any real physical harm on people, but all of a sudden it's harming people. And it was never like that before. In the history of weed, it was never like that, where it gave people problems that people having today. Now, they can spray shit on weed and make people sick. Like, they had when crack was out, I remember my friend had got a load of crack they called the wood. When you light it up and smoke it, it tastes like wood. And people were still buying it and smoking it. So it obviously had some kind of chemical that wasn't just crack into it. Now, I never tried to sell it, but again, I've told the story, the difference between Battle Creek and Kalamazoo, where Kalamazoo didn't have real cocaine sometimes, real crack. They had something else, and the people were still acting like it was real. It was a weird-ass phenomenon. When I came here, I was seeing that same fake shit, and people still buying that fake shit, and still acting the same way, and the shit wasn't even cocaine. It was something else they made to look like cocaine. It didn't even taste like cocaine. So yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Hey, Joey, what's up?
You got to have vision.
Babbitt won. Bama won. Okay, let me get it in here. But yeah, I haven't really talked to anybody. I don't really smoke weed like that. Hey, Brother Sean.
You got to have vision.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, I used to play sock with a hanger ball. Yeah. Before the Nerf hoops came out, because before the Nerf hoops came out, it was the kind that had suction cups, and it was a Nerf ball with suction cup hoop, and you would suction cup the hoop. It had to be something metal, because it really wouldn't stay on wood; it would just fall off. But if you got the suction cups wet, and you stuck that little hoop on there, you could hoop all day, shooting little shots. But yeah. So what'd you say, Joey? Bama won the previous week. You've been here for a minute. I'm sorry. They snap. Yeah, South Carolina. The government laced the weed with toxic chemicals. Yeah. I believe that. I don't believe anything, but I can see that. Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt lost too. Okay, 2 weeks before. Yeah. Texas lost
Texas lost, which is wasn't surprising. They had Manning come in because he could move. That Evers guy can't move, so they put Manning in, and Manning wasn't really moving around. Plus, he got popped one time too. But I mean, think about it. One loss is not hurting people now because of 12 teams, and so long as you are in the top 12, that's all that matters. I tell you, Colorado still look good. They're gonna get in a decent bowl. Colorado's going to get in a decent bowl. And they got what? Kansas State, Arizona State they'll probably beat. They'll probably beat Arizona State. I'm trying to think what other teams played Baylor already. I had to look at their schedule. Let's see, Colorado's schedule. Where's it at? What is this? What? It says right here that Not Like Us has won Kendrick Lamar a Grammy already. How did he win a Grammy before the Grammys? How could you get a Grammy already? Said Best Rap Grammy is already went to Kendrick Lamar. Oh, it dominate. He could add several more, if Not Like Us, next month's Grammy announcements. Okay. He has 17 Grammys. He could do 7 more, if Not Like Us dominates. You know how they do. Okay. I was going to look up Colorado's schedule. Let's see. Okay, so they got to play. Okay, they play them. Play them. Oh, they play in Cincinnati. This Saturday, they play Cincinnati. They have Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. I would say they're definitely going to beat Arizona, which will give them 6 wins. Cincinnati, I don't know. Cincinnati's going to be a tough one, but they play them at home. Utah, I think. Isn't Utah only lost 1 game? I don't know about them beating Texas Tech. Kansas, they should beat Kansas. I don't know if they can beat Oklahoma State or not. So that's their next games is Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and Colorado. They're going to win. They're going to definitely beat Arizona State, right? Isn't that here? Cincinnati, Kansas. Maybe they don't play Arizona State. Yeah, they don't play Arizona State. And they damn near had Colorado beat, or Kansas State beat. But yeah, they should beat Kansas. So they should get their 6 wins to get into a bowl. Sorry. K-Dot, the Drake, yeah, he's a plant and the agent. I mean, yeah, they look who they signed to. But that doesn't mean, that doesn't mean that they still can't put something out powerful, and they still can't. That doesn't mean they still can't attack enemies. And that's what he did. He attacked a worse plant. I would say Drake is a greater enemy, a greater plant, a greater industry they made him than Kendrick. I say Drake is more of a fake industry plant than Kendrick Lamar was. So he's got some vibe in music. Texas Tech will beat them. Colorado doesn't do well against the pass. Okay. Yeah, they don't. They don't. Oh man, his one son that dude shook his one son. He went in the hole. So Utah, can they beat Utah? And there's no time for that. So they're probably going to make that a national game. Colorado, Utah are going to end up being a national game. Cincinnati appears to be it's a primetime game because they got a 9:50. So that's going to be on TV. Probably Texas Tech because it's a to be determined. They're looking at how both teams going to be. Utah, Kansas, they should beat Kansas. I don't know if they can beat Oklahoma State or not.
and they've got a time for that's a morning game. But they gonna end up probably gonna give these 1, 2, 3 more primetime games. It looks like. So yeah, exactly, PJ. He is. So this is what I'm gonna ask everybody to do, and I don't want to give my idea away, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So what I'm gonna ask is everybody to film your whoever, if you had a super party and when Kendrick Lamar starts singing "Not Like Us," I want y'all to film everybody singing it, and I want to see if I can make a video of people across the country singing it, because the whole world is gonna sing it, and it's just gonna bury Drake deeper and deeper and deeper, and not accept him. And I mean, Drake, like, you could tell he didn't really care about our culture when he started putting them pins in his hair. You dig? He's like, again, everybody do what I do. So, well, I think I better go. So thank you guys. Yeah, I think I got everything in. I'll be back for the picks on Wednesday. And so, thank you. And this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the people come in. And definitely till we meet again. Thank you. During the Super Bowl, that's going to be wild. Yeah, I want everybody to tape. If you had a Super Bowl party, I want you to tape when Not Like Us comes on. And how many people singing it at your Super Bowl party. And I want you to send the short video to me. And I'm going to see if I can make one. And keep switching from house to house to house. I don't care if somebody steal the idea. That's what should be done. And then the whole world is going to sing it. The Martians is going to sing it when it's at the Super Bowl. Everybody in the whole universe is going to party. It's like that 3 minutes, the whole universe is going to be singing that shit. And Drake is going to, he going to go get in a bomb shelter or something. He ain't going to be at the Super Bowl. You can guarantee Drake ain't going to be at the Super Bowl. Because you know what's going to happen. If Not Like Us come on, they're going to put the camera right on Drake the whole time. So that's if people copy it, that's okay. I just think to get that universal sound out. The people in Pluto want to hear Not Like Us. Till we meet again, this is your guy, Big Pontiac, also known as Time Lord, also known as Starface